Okay, Juanitosville, we're back in the spot, friends. Have you ever asked your mom to buy you Adidas and instead she bought you Zips? That's a drag, friends. But we're not here to cry about our past. We're here to create the future. And right now, if you're watching this video, you're interested in bales. And so you're kind of thinking about what size of a bale should you make. Now, I'm kind of a wild guy and I have a lot of wild friends, and I make a lot of jewelry for rock and rollers and punks and rappers and artists. And I noticed they like thicker chains to hang their medallions, to hang their pendants around their neck. So we're talking about bales, we're talking about necklaces, right? But there's some things to consider. I noticed like my sister-in-law, she wears a really skinny necklace, which is probably for like someone who has a professional job and has like self-respect. But over here we're on the wild side, friends. So let's talk about bales and things to consider. We have different kinds of bales here, friends. Let's start with this one right here. This is a pendant that I made, Moonstone. And if you look right here, let's kind of look in. This is a basic bale, right? A basic bale, and this could fit around a nice rope chain pretty simply. If you have one of those skinny sister-in-law chains like my sister-in-law wears, this is too big. So this is a typical regular bale. You want it to consider. Things to consider, friends, are how it's going to slide on the necklace. You want for it to slide on the necklace, so you want to make sure the inside here is nice and soft. You sand it when it's still open. You kind of sand it, and you get the edges really nice and soft so that it glides easily. So let's just go, for example, a piece like this. This is one of my bales that I made that is just basically a loop over bale. Pretty basic, very sturdy. It's not going to come off because it's part of the main body of the piece. And this is what you're looking for, guys. If you guys can see that with your angle, you want for it to slide easily left and right. Always try to make it so that it slides really nicely, like a zip line. Let's go with a different kind of bale, guys. This is a traditional style of a bale. This is a little bit more kind of hardcore. Pretty fun. I did a video on this. You can find the video of making this right here. And I made it for this. I know this is kind of wild, but I'm kind of a wild guy. So I made this for a certain type of individual that is into stuff like this, man. And but look at that bale. It's wider on the top, skinny at the bottom, and then I made this on the last video, this little clasp. And then I got some leather cord. I bought a roll of leather cord on Amazon, very cheap. But see, this slides very nicely. If I go left and right, it slides. Other things to consider when making a bale, guys, is if you're working with some friends that, or for some friends that like Cuban links. Now, I didn't make this. I purchased this Cuban link. It's a pretty big one, I think. But this is a pendant that I made early in my jewelry making life. Yeah, super early. But now when you do Cuban, you want for it to be a rectangle in there. You see that rectangle? It's kind of a rectangle. It's not round. So if you want to talk to your client and say, okay, what are you going to hang this on? And if they say I'm going to hang it on a Cuban chain, then you're probably going to want to do a rectangle style. And if you look at this, guys, yeah, buddy, it rolls left and right pretty easily up the bale. I hope you guys can see that. But yeah, that's that kind of bale. It's another one of those loop over. Just kind of a funky design. Here's another bale, friends, that I did. It's not a bale, really. It's a ring. And these are my freedom feathers. I put this on a big chain. Of course, it's just a loop, so it glides really easily. But it's just a loop, guys. If you make these freedom feathers, you can make it. And then the way I've had this for years. Actually, I made this in one of my first rings I ever made. But I didn't solder it. I just kept it open. See how it slides open? So if I'm out out in the community and I meet somebody that they just tell me like a really awesome story and they're just super cool, then I'll give them one, a freedom feather, and say, here, take this. You can put it on a piece of string, on a necklace, whatever you want. And if you want to see how I made these feathers, guys, you can watch this video right here. Yeah, so sometimes you can just use a ring. And over all the years, I've never had any issues with losing a feather or this popping open. I believe this wire is 12 gauge, so you can just do it like that. Pretty fun. Let's see, did I already talk about this one? This is another bail, kind of basic bail, but again, it's really soft in there, so that it'll slide on the thing. So one thing to consider that sometimes I forget to think about is when I'm going to attach this bail, you want this hole down here to be just big enough so that you can kind of sneak that bail in there. See how there's not very much clearance right there? I had to put the solder to close that bail, and it was really, really close. So what I try to do, ideally you want it to, be able to have some clearance, so you can put a little dab of solder right there at the thing, and then what I do is right at the last second, I will beep, do a little pinch, beep, and then the solder, and then I let it go, and then there you go, friends. So these are some things to think about and to consider when working with bails. How big of a bail? Your client, what are they going to hang their pendant on? If you don't provide the chain, then you might have to if they have a chain that they really like, you have to get that information from them. Those are some things to consider when working with bails, guys. I hope that helped. If this had any value to you, please subscribe. There's a lot of different styles of bails, and none of them are the right way. It's just whatever you're feeling at the time. I really like this style because it's very sturdy. I use this a lot. And yeah, just make sure that it slides on the pendant very easily. And then think about how, especially when you're doing one of these traditional bails, think about how big of a chain you're going to put on it so that it fits. Sometimes I make really small bails, and then the customer, the client, wants to have a bigger chain in there, and then even the clasp of the chain won't fit through. So I'm like, oh man, I made it too small. So you got to talk to your people and see what they want and give them that. So yeah, hit like. I guess that helps more people watch the videos, and we're out here trying to make our dreams come true, friends. So let's support each other and make it happen rapid, man. I'm Benny. I'm out. Peace.